What's up, everybody? Thank you for watching. This is Unbreakable Mind, and I am helping you make mindfulness practical so that you can live the life you love. So I'm gonna just share something from my life today that really helped me have this eye-opening moment. And I just want you to consider your life when you're listening to this to see if you have any examples of something similar. So I was going to the gym this morning. I had clients to train, and normal routine, I go downstairs and I go out the gate to get to my garage, and the gate always sticks on the ground, and it's one of those things where it just irritates the crap out of me. And so every time I'm going in and out this gate to come home or leave, this darn gate is just making me a little crazy every time I open it. And I end up having to like slam the gate because it catches and sticks on the ground so much. And it's just a product of the weather changing, and it's, you know, the wood swelling, etc. So anyway, I'm leaving this morning, and I finally just like catch myself. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I am just all kinds of focused on the problems, and I'm like whining in my head instead of focusing on a simple solution. And the solution is so simple. All I need to do is text my landlords. My landlords are great. They take care of everything. I'm really fortunate to have landlords that like respond right away, and they actually care. So anyway, so there's that. And then, so I realized, I was like, okay, I was focused on the problem and I wasn't focused on the solution. Done. All right. But then I was talking to some clients when I got to the gym, and I was telling them this story, and I had this little eye-opening moment where I was like, oh my gosh. On the surface, it appeared that I was just focused on the problem and not focused on the solution. But when I really kind of dug into my language and understood the pattern that was going on there, I was able to see something else. And it was, I have an old story that I used to say to myself all the time when I was in relationships, and there would be like a fight or something, but I would say to myself, I hate conflict. I hate conflict. I mean, that was something I repeated over and over again for years. And I used to say the reason is because I grew up around a lot of conflict. I grew up around hearing a lot of fighting, you know, like a lot of children do. And it became this story around, I hate conflict because I saw what it did, you know, with the people around me growing up, and how it made me feel. Like, it made me feel like, you know, so alone, and like the world was falling apart. And as I grew up into an adult and was in relationships, I never felt like I could voice, make that go away. I could never voice what was going on in me. I would just like freeze. I wouldn't be able to communicate my feelings very well. I was just so emotional that I just couldn't even form the sentences. And so this happened for many years. So come now, it's like I've been doing this mindfulness stuff for, you know, like around almost 4 years, and I'm just like really getting, I can understand my emotions more. I don't go to this place where I can't even put a thought together because I'm crying or so defensive or so angry or just so confused, what have you. But I recognized, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not communicating. It's not that I wasn't just focused on the problem or not the solution, but it was what needed to happen was I simply needed to communicate to my landlords. And this was something that was actually brought to my attention when I went to this immersion program with my mentors just a few days ago in Arizona, how I was just, all I needed to do, there was this business thing going on, and I have a coach, and I simply wasn't communicating to my coach what I needed. And I can see how this pattern that's been there for so long about wanting to avoid conflict, afraid of conflict, and not knowing how to communicate it because I was afraid that I was doing something wrong, or that they would get mad. Whatever the story was, the bottom line is communication. Communication. How many times are we complaining to our friends or just whining in our head and kind of just, frustrated and like just getting those little moments of irritation? Like, think about how many times in your day a little issue like the gate happens. Maybe it's something at work where somebody keeps leaving something on your desk in the wrong spot. I'm just giving you like crazy examples of how we just get those little moments of irritation, or sometimes it's not always we need to communicate what our needs are. Sometimes there is a need for a change in the story that we're making up in our head. Maybe the language that we're using or the perception that we're taking on, like for instance, if we're getting all kinds of riled up because our partner isn't, or somebody we live with isn't folding the towel, right? Or they keep doing something. Sometimes it's just easier. Maybe the action to take, and maybe the action needed isn't necessarily asking them to pick up the towel, pick up the towel, pick up the towel. Maybe it's, we just need to pick up the towel if it makes us feel happier because, whatever. I'm just giving you examples. So maybe it is communicating our needs, like, in an understanding way, in a non-defensive way or non-argumentative way. So I hope that helps you. It was really nice for me to kind of get another example of where I was allowing my frustration to come up simply because there was a story around maybe wanting to avoid conflict when all I really need to do is communicate simply. So, all right, thanks for watching. Leave me your comments. Let me know what you thought of this video, or maybe if I was able to wake up or have you have an eye-opening moment for yourself. And I look forward to having you back and teaching you more. Until then, keep working on creating an unbreakable mind and have a great day.